To give some explanation and background knowledge for this whole encounter, I was around 15 at the time. I was camping out in the middle of nowhere with my family and part of my extended family, my aunt, uncle, and cousins. I was the oldest kid there in the RV, so you can probably understand how it felt to have no one else to do the stupid crap I did back then. With a good 2-year gap between me and the inferiors, it was almost like nirvana when I got to the campground and met the other teenagers. Now, the story. There were 6 of us outside playing. My parents trusted me a lot. I liked my fun, but I liked getting home in time for dinner equally as much. So when I was gone most of the day with the other people from camp, they didn't think much of it. But this particular day, we found a neat little deer trail we hadn't found in the 2 years we'd been there before. On second thought though, it didn't really seem like a deer trail. It snaked through a really thick part of the underbrush, maybe a foot of clear ground and clear branches going upwards. It's a really hard thing to pick out of the brush unless you're either really looking or know where it is. It was promptly explored, marked with a broken branch outside of the entrance, and quickly forgotten. Except, I remembered this special little tunnel. That night, while we were all eating dinner, one of the adults proposed that we play Manhunt out in the woods. At night. Not everyone was totally on board with the idea, but in the grand scheme of the plan, they were squashed down like autumn leaves. Everyone got a flashlight and everyone was assigned to a team. Manhunt is where everyone was divided into 2 groups. It's basically like a glorified game of tag, but there's a catch. As you catch people, you have to correctly identify who they are, and if you can, they join forces with the hunters. The last man standing gets a candy bar or something. This is how we played it anyway. For the first round, I get lumped in with the runners, those who are getting chased by the hunters. We get a 5-minute head start to run, climb a tree, whatever the hell we want to do to evade the hunters. Usually I'm the one up in the tree, but that never really worked out. So, to try and score a win for once, I decided to use the little path through the thicket. I took most of the head start time just to find the damn thing, because I was so well hidden and out of the way. As I passed hiding spots, I heard hushed, smothered whispering between siblings who were questioning my actions, like a bird's wings rustling when it's fluffing itself. It should be noted that I have a bat's hearing. My ears are probably my greatest asset in this game, but when I'm just reaching the destination, I hear the short blast of the air horn announcing that the 5 minutes were up. I swan dove into this minute little path in the undergrowth, shuffling on my hands and knees until I'm about halfway in, crouching down like some huge malformed quail. The hunters are doing an initial sweep through the trails, looking for obvious hiders and people caught out trying to change spots. When they finally reach me, they reach the dead end and go straight back. I try to readjust myself and crawl further down the tunnel. I honestly don't know how it happened, but I found an even more hidden path within that one, and, accidentally, I dragged my stupid body down the rabbit hole. Except, instead of ending in a dead end, this one ended in a slight hollow. I don't ever want to describe exactly what I found there. I'm sorry, but I just can't. It was a younger-looking woman, naked, covered in lacerations and stab wounds in the fetal position. Her glassy, glazed eyes seemed to look straight through me. I won't go further than that. I was too scared to scream, and I froze there while dark, burgundy stains formed on my jeans. I froze there for what felt like hours, and then I heard somebody else coming along that path. Have you ever been so scared that for one moment, one insane moment, you truly consider something incredibly stupid as a viable option to escape? That was one of those times. I let out a short, trembling whimper and started moving. Whoever was on the path stopped and then eagerly started moving forward again. I could hear their panting, uneven breaths of a man, a horrible marker of whoever it was getting closer and closer to me by the second. By some wondrous, beautiful miracle, he missed the path leading to the brushy hollow. I heard him moving down past the entrance, dragging something clunky and awkward behind him. I heard clinking noises and the occasional effort to silence them. I heard a low curse somewhere towards the end of the tunnel, and I blasted out of the underground tunnel like a bullet, forcing its way out of a barrel. Cracks, crashes, and obnoxious rustling was all around me as I heard the man sharply intake a breath and begin to move towards me. The horse, deep panting, got closer and closer to me, a testament to how I was too slow. Somehow, I exploded out of the entrance, got onto my wobbly, half-asleep legs, and started booking it down the trail. The unknown pursuer was close behind me for a bit, but it seemed like he was too exhausted to chase me at the same speed for long. I know everyone loves to rip on the fact that people always trip in horror movies, but in all honesty, tripping is something I am amazed I didn't do. With adrenaline coursing through me at the speed of Usain Bolt, trying to make my jello-like, unsteady walking appendages work to move me away from whatever was behind me was like trying to run on water. It felt like an eternity, but I finally reached the main trail, running back to the camp and sprinted down it screaming bloody murder. Confused faces looked out from the trees. Reaching the camp was easy, but trying to explain why I woke up half the people in the camp and bolted out of the woods was harder. When I finally choked the words out to explain, I remember a profound, insidious silence through the group of adults waiting at the mouth of the trail. I really don't remember a whole lot from that point on. I knew the cops were called and my mother and aunt ran shrieking and wailing along the trail, calling for the other kids to come back to safety. When someone's yelling like that, you don't ignore it. They rounded everyone up in 30 seconds flat and barreled back to the camp. The police found a man out in the woods, creeping along the trail, clutching a knife. A black garbage bag with a plethora of sharp instruments and a saw was found abandoned on the trail, some speckled and smeared with dried blood. I don't think there's really any getting over it. I still have nightmares sometimes of the man chasing me, breathing heavily down my neck, trying to catch me, and sometimes he succeeds.